I used to hate the movie Forrest Gump because it's dumb. I used to, but I rewatched it for the 20th anniversary, and I realized something that now makes me love this movie. Forrest Gump the movie is so stupid because it could only have been written by Forrest Gump himself. Take the beginning of the movie, for example. Forrest Gump discovers that he could run really fast. Fine. That's fine. He even outruns a truck. Pushing it, but it's okay. It's an old truck. He then gets a scholarship to the University of Alabama as a kick returner. Not the University of Dick and Dinkle. The Crimson Tide. Arguably the most famous college football program in history. And he returns every single kick he gets for a touchdown. That would make him the greatest player in the history of college football. You know who might be interested in that? It's a small organization, a non-profit. You may not have heard of it, but it's called the NFL. You might think the NFL would be interested in a guy who gets so many kick return touchdowns that people on the side of a stadium have to make a giant sign telling him to stop. And do you know what the record is for kick return touchdowns? What do you think? It's 30? Is it 40? No, the record is 5. Gump breaks the record in like 2 scenes. Who wrote this? Forrest Gump wrote it, which makes it okay. Because you know how hard it is to sit down and set up a script and write a story? This is a 100-page script. I can't even do that, and this guy has an IQ of 40. And so Forrest Gump moves the story along, and he gets shot in Vietnam and saves 8 people, which, again, is fine. But then he meets the president, and the president doesn't go, "Hey, here's your Purple Heart. Nice to meet you. Good." Wait a minute. Aren't you the guy who returned like 100 kickoffs for a touchdown? Apparently nobody in America watches college football. Oh, actually, everybody in America watches college football. Whatever. So then he learns to play ping pong, and because it was written by him, he becomes awesome. But he becomes so awesome that he travels to China in the famous ping pong diplomacy exchange that paved the way for Richard Nixon to become the first U.S. president in China. Can you imagine if China, who fought against the U.S. in the Vietnam War, told the U.S. to send some ping pong players, and they sent a mentally disabled Vietnam veteran? Here you go. Here's your ping pong player. And why this of all things? This is kind of a, this movie's basically what happened if you gave Forrest Gump like a pen, a paper, and a Carta CD. Moving on, so then he comes back and meets John Lennon, and he helps John Lennon write Imagine. What? Imagine was based on Yoko Ono's poems in Grapefruit. It wasn't written by some white guy on Dick Cavett. In Forrest Gump's script, that's perfectly reasonable, though. And it's also perfectly reasonable to write the most breathtakingly dumb scene in cinema history. Forrest Gump runs across the United States 7 times. 7 times. How about 1 time? It's like Forrest Gump looked at a map of the United States and went, how big is the U.S.? A mile? I should be able to run 7 miles. And he runs for years. And of course, nobody recognizes him. This guy has a Heisman Trophy, a Purple Heart, was the first American in China. He wrote Imagine, and he's a billionaire, by the way. And the press is like, us strangers running across America. Come on! Who wrote this? Forrest Gump wrote it. And all things considered, I'm proud of him.